Hi, so this time I wanted to simulate how it would be to survive a catastrophe at sea. Sandy. Hi, so this time I wanted to simulate how it would be to survive a catastrophe at sea and be the person that actually makes it to the beach at a pretty cliffy beach, as you can see over here. I'm gonna try getting the conditions as realistic as they can be. Obviously I won't be deprived of food or water, but I'm gonna get there in my clothes to get wet and kind of try to show what's necessary to survive.
As you can see, getting onto the beach is one thing, but getting yourself on top of those cliffs is an entirely different matter. So without further ado, I'll try to apply my skills in this survival scenario.
Right, off the water.
Now I'm showing this working under the assumption that I'm being on a much more colder climate than this was being shot at, as you can imagine, in the warmer parts of the world the situation is much easier for someone to handle. Now water temperature in Portugal can reach as low as 10 degrees Celsius, which is 50 degrees Fahrenheit for you Americans over there. So as you can expect, it can get quite cold, especially if you stay in water for longer periods of time, as heat is lost much more quickly in water than in air.
That's really cold. So once you get out of the water, get your clothes as dry as you can. You don't want to have wet clothes on you after you just exit that cold water. So since the sea is so cold over here in Portugal, I see it's the Atlantic Ocean, one of the things that you need to do first after you get out of the water is warm up your body a little bit. So this is pretty much what I'm doing right now. I'm just trying to get the blood pumping and get my body a little bit heated up. Now that you're warming up, you can get your clothes off and put them on the rocks to dry out in the sun.
In addition to cold water, the air temperature can drop to as low as 16 degrees Celsius in the wintertime. This plus the wind, you don't want to have wet clothes on you in that situation.
Now that you're warmed up and you have your clothes dried out a little bit, it's time to take care of your basic human needs, which is food and water. And obviously, water, we will be looking for it on the cliffs around us. And by no means ever you should drink seawater when you're thirsty. Like, it will just make you dehydrate even faster, and it's a really bad thing to do. But before we try to climb on those cliffs, we will look for food, which is pretty abundant in those areas over here. So you have a whole bunch of, on beaches like that, you have a whole bunch of different worms, crabs and stuff like that happening, but we in particular will be looking for mussels and oysters and this type of organisms which those beaches are famous of. So I found this type of mussels and I intend to harvest it and have it for dinner. So with this type of mussels, they are stuck to the rocks. If they are coming off easily, that means that they are rotten or spoiled and you should not eat them. But if they are like tightly gripped like those ones, they are good for harvest. Now, the way to harvest them is preferably with a knife, or if you're lucky like me, you have a multi-tool with you, but even a sharp rock that you would be able to get underneath it and wedge it out would work. So I'm going to be trying to use this knife that I have with me. And the technique is pretty simple. You just need to get the knife underneath the mussel and wedge it off. There you go. And you have this gooey substance here, pretty much. They're good to eat, you just need to cook them first. So I'm gonna harvest a couple of them and cook them for dinner. When I learned something about tides, you see that area over there with a lot of water in it and the waves just crashing against it? where this is where just half an hour ago, I was drying out my clothes.
Time to get myself off of this beach and onto those cliffs.
Just trying to get on the top. Just a few more steps.
Sorry for the shaky cam, by the way. It's not easy climbing using just one of your hands while you hold camera in the other.
This is the right way, hope. Wow, it's quite the view. So walking around on those cliffs, I was able to find this source of water. I mean, it's probably needs some treating, it needs heating up, but at least it provides me with some badly needed H2O. I just gotta find a container for it now. Right now, I have made it to the cliffs. The name of the game changes to either finding civilization quick or finding some sort of container that I can get this water from and maybe boil those oysters as well. So, wish me luck!
Now what is this? Have I been so lucky to find wild garlic growing on the cliffs? It sure seems so. Look at that beauty over there. Hashtag free food. Okay, time to get back on that thorny ground and find me some civilization. Unfortunately, due to a technical error, a few next scenes were lost beyond retrieval. What happened was, I have found an empty can someone dropped on the cliffs. Now it's time to get water, boil it, and prepare some food.
So I have all those mussels I picked up earlier at the beach. I'm putting them into that can that I found. I also have the garlic that I harvested earlier. Also making its way to the can. Right? So now the plan is to get a fire started, boil it all up, and have a meal. Right. It's an attempt at a fire with this.
One more lost scene. Boiling it all up. Technology, am I right?
Okay, so the first portion of the food got cooked. As you can see. Over here I got some mussels. They obviously got separated from the mussel itself. And this edible plant that I found. Garlic, I think. Anyway, here goes. Or this one's pretty nice. Although, it's a bitter taste. I haven't tried those. Sandy. Pretty sandy, just like the beach that I found them at. Anyway, this is gonna give me some badly needed energy for me to continue my quest.
I had to prepare myself for a long walk, but I knew that sooner or later I would find something. I just needed to be patient. So there it was. After hours of walking on the cliffs, I saw an industrial plant far away on the horizon. This means civilization. I will be saved.